is up, Internet? I'm that dude, Swainzilla, aka old guy with too much time on his hands, coming at you from a fucking spaceship. And this is the reviewer. You may be shocked to hear this, but I'm actually not a legitimate film critic. Yeah, it's true. Actually, I've never taken a class. I've never read a book. I've never even skimmed through an article on anything film education related ever. But I have recently adopted sharing my thoughts about stuff on YouTube as a hobby. So why not throw the shows and movies I watch into the mix? Let's talk about episode 11 of Andor. In case this is the first of these Andor review videos of mine that you've watched, I'm a pretty casual Star Wars fan. Like, I've watched all of the movies except for The Last Jedi. I've watched all the Disney Plus shows, but I don't really know any of the cartoons. I don't know any of the comics, and I've never read any of the novels. So, like, the lore, I don't know all of that. Half the time, I don't even know the people's names in the show. So you're kind of getting a perspective of Andor from a normie. I can't believe we only have one episode left. Like, it seemed like it's gone by so fast. We've learned so much. How is this episode 11 already? It feels like just yesterday that Andor was in a bar, some random spot, and he had to kill off those fucking security guard douchebag types that set this whole shit off. It just seems like it was yesterday. I like that we caught back up with some of our characters that we haven't seen in a while, like our blonde and brunette from the heist. Like, the brunette is still in town where Andor's mom is chilling. And so I feel like there's going to be like a squad up at some point. Our blonde chick from the heist, she goes and is like, yo, where's the fucking museum guy? Like, I got some info. I know what's up with Andor. We get a little more insight with her, and that we know that she's kind of goes rogue, which opens up some questions. Like the fact that she's taking risks. Like the museum girl, the secretary is like, you're breaking all the rules right now. Like, we kind of know she's going rogue. And she's intense, with her rebellion, but that, I'm not going to say that's a red flag, but it's something that's noticeable that she's a little too excited about it, if that makes sense. Our droid, which, I feel like is pretty emotional. We do get some character in our droids, but this fucker is sad and mopey and R2D2, you know what I mean? 3CPO? I don't know. Those droids, yeah, they have some character, but they're not really emotional. And this fucking thing is an emotional mess. We get our construction guy, who I feel is totally gonna fill a bigger role going forward. I feel like they keep showing him. I feel like they're trying to purposely put him in the background, but I feel like going forward he's gonna end up having a pretty big role. We get back in touch with the mom, I guess, kinda. I am curious how this whole funeral thing goes. Clearly they're faking her death. So I feel like the Empire is in, they're keen. They're let's fucking give him a funeral and let's watch that shit, because either Andor's gonna show up or this bitch is not gonna be dead, and we're gonna be on that shit. We do get a little peek into our mechanic chick, and I was concerned that she wasn't gonna be helpful at all. But I feel like I feel like she's still capable of being manipulative, because I think she's gonna be like, yeah, that's the guy. As far as and they're gonna believe her. I feel like they're gonna believe her that the museum guy is the guy that they're looking for. I feel like this guy is the scapegoat in this whole fucking first season. Like, I forget the guy's name, but the guy that the spaceship was going to, and the fucking blonde chick, or the Empire showed her a picture of, the like alien type dude. That rebel is gonna lose 30 men, and he's gonna get killed, and it's gonna be like, it's gonna lay the groundwork from like some serious shit, because I feel like it's gonna open up like some beefs, and people are gonna have problems with it, and I feel like it's gonna get pretty dramatic going forward. I still don't think we know if our spy guy from Andor's mom's planet, like his planet, I still don't know if he said some shit into his fucking microphone, but I still don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy, because I feel like he didn't trigger the security people to come in. The museum guy was like the star of the show. His intense like exchange with like Forrest Whitaker's character was like, dude, that shit was intense, and like I feel like it was a turning point in like the rebellion. I feel like Forrest Whitaker's character, they're like all about doing whatever they gotta do, but are they really willing to do what has to be done? And the museum guy goes in and says, hey, look, this shit I'm doing is like where the line is, and even past. I feel like the example he sets is like game changing. And then his escape, like our museum guy's escape from the Empire, was like on some Han Solo type shit. Like, yo, did this motherfucker have lightsabers on his fucking spaceship that cuts fucking, yo, like, I must have been tripping, because, yeah, some shit jumped out of his wings, and when he spun, he like cut those fucking, what the fuck are they called? I don't know. They're fighter jets. They're MiGs, whatever you want to call them. Like, they just cut them shits in half, and I feel like he did have that necklace with the lightsaber, like, crystal shit. So does he have that in his spaceship? And he just, like, zapped out some fucking lightsaber swords out of his wings? Yo, that shit was crazy. I like that they left, like, it wide open who got away from the prison. I feel like the fact that they only showed Andor and the other guy makes it obvious that other people escaped. And I'm convinced that one of those people we're going to see eventually down the road is the foreman inmate. Like, somehow that dude got out, and somehow he escaped the planet. There's no doubt in my mind at this point. I didn't go back and rewatch it, but I'm pretty sure that the Rent-A-Cop guy, like, stole fucking credits from his mom in order to get to fucking Andor's home planet so he could try to catch him. Like, granted, that's fucking grimy. You don't steal from your fucking mom. But it also shows how, like, determined that this guy is to fucking get his redemption. Like, he wants to catch this motherfucker more than anything. Even if his mom hooked him up. And he's still trying to spite her. Like, that's how motivated he is. The senator, like, she's clearly struggling with the choices that she's going to have to make and her position. Like, she's watching I feel like when she's talking to her cousin and she's watching her daughter, she's kind of watching the importance of her family kind of like fade. Like, she's realizing that, like, the rebellion, she may love her daughter to death more than anything. But even so, the rebellion has to take precedence, and I think that whole scene is like, dude, the emotion that this character, that the woman that plays this character is putting out there is, dude, you just gotta tip your cap to her. I mean, if she's gotta win some kind of an award, like, she's just crushing it. I mean, and it's so crazy that the fact her daughter, like, does not like her, but because of her daughter's beliefs, she still might, like, play into the senator's hands. Like, even though that they're beefing, her beef may, like, help out the rebellion in the long run, which is pretty crazy. I like that they kind of, like, they mirror our response to what's going on with the senator and her daughter through, like, the cousin. And it's like the cousin is like, what the fuck? Like, we're like, what the fuck? But then you're seeing the senator's position. Like, they show us that, look, yeah, it's fucked up. I don't want to do it. But we aren't in the position to make, like, a choice. We're kind of, like, painted in a corner. We kind of have to do what we gotta do, even if it's fucked up. We get to see, like, this tension within the rebellion, like the museum guy. We get to see that this guy is, you know what I mean? He's gonna make these crazy ass sacrifices. And he illustrates that the compromises you have to make, like, the whole Forrest Whitaker scene where he's like, look, man, yeah, 30 dudes and this guy who is important. Whoever, they know his name, so you know he's important. They're sacrificial lambs for the greater good because they can't. They don't know enough to get to us. So, I don't know. It's so fucked up. But the sacrifices they have to make, that they are willing to sacrifice these things to grow the strength of the rebellion, is like, it's just intense. It's intense. They do it well, and I just can't get enough of it. And then the senator, she has to sacrifice her daughter. Like, she's going to have to agree and make a deal with our thug guy. And she's going to marry her daughter off to his kid, which may seem fucked up at the moment, but because of the thug situation, we still don't know what his kid's going to be like. I think at this moment, I'm expecting him to be rebellion friendly. I'm not expecting him to be an empire brat, right? So I feel like that may influence the daughter. And even though she's looking like side-eyeing her mom and shit at this moment, maybe she becomes an ally. Maybe. I feel like Andor knows that he can't go to the funeral. I feel like there's going to be a big-ass build-up in the last episode to the funeral, but Andor can't show up. I feel like with him and his buddy, like, splitting up, I feel like at that moment he decided that it's beyond just him, right? Like, as much as he loves his mother, the lady that's playing his mother and his home planet and all that, I feel like he has realized the sacrifices he's going to have to make. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what this episode is about, is that people are realizing the sacrifices that they have to make. And he left a message, say, hey, tell her she'd be proud, this, that, and the other. And I feel like he's just going to continue that into whatever they decide to do going forward. And I guess there's going to be a second season. There's going to be a time jump, apparently. And I think he's already decided that he's on that road. But we'll see. The only thing I thought was kind of iffy, the only thing that I was like, that was like mid. I did think that Andor and his homie got off the planet way too easily. Like, granted, I'm glad that they pushed the story forward, right? But like, yeah, they gotta hang out on the cliff, but then they just get captured. And the fact that the people that capture them, I don't know what species of alien those guys were. They were amazingly done. But they were like, yeah, we're gonna get all this kind of money for them. And I don't feel like they like showed their worth enough to where those guys were just like, not only are we gonna let you bounce, we're gonna give you a lift to wherever you have to go. Like, I feel like that was a little too easy. Even though I'm grateful for the fact that they're moving the plot forward. So, mid, right? That was mid. Nobody found his money. Like, he put that case on top of the shower. Like, it's pretty low. I mean, I feel like that was a little... I don't know how long... We don't know how long he was in jail. But the fact that he could just go back to the hotel where he left all of his money and all that shit... And just go in and get his shit. And then him and his buddy are just like out on the beach. And none of these fucking Empire dudes bother him now. Like, that was a little too, like, clean, right? I feel like... But then again, I don't know how long he was in prison. But even if it was a few days, I feel like the cleaning people at this hotel or where the fuck he was at, somebody would notice, like, this random case of fucking money on top of the shower, right? Is it too much of a stretch? Maybe it's just on the line, but it's a little iffy, if nothing else. I just can't believe there's only one episode left. Like, here we are. One episode left. Then the questions start, like, is there enough viewership to even go forward with the second season? Have they already begun filming the second season? I don't know. I haven't really did any kind of research into that stuff just because I don't want to be disappointed that they haven't yet. I would like that the first few episodes, you know what I mean, that they put out, that fucking Disney recognized, oh, damn, this is on a different level. Let's definitely greenlight a second season. But I've also heard that was just kind of in the plans. There was a second season with a time jump. So now there's just that question. Like, and then if the second season comes along, and then we're just like, where did they leave us, right? Like, I'm excited to see where they leave us, but I'm nervous that somehow the politics of things just happens, and there's not a second season, and we don't get to go further, right? Unless they find some other way to fucking give us that information in, like, maybe another Disney Plus show or an animated series. But I'm definitely nervous, just because the things I've heard about the viewership have been, like, up and down. And I know that these companies, you know what I mean, Disney, they're cutthroat. They're all about a profit. I mean, even if the show's good, if it's not popular and not bringing in revenue, I can see them just fucking saying, let's do something else. And I just hope that's not what happens with this series. You know, and one episode left. These people that make this show, the people that have put this show together, have given me a lot of confidence that they are going to crush it. Like, they are going to give us everything we need to know. But in the back of my mind, just because of the way that I am, and I know how my luck is, I'm also concerned that they're going to drop the ball, right? There's the anxiety. Like, one episode left. They got one episode, you know what I mean, to make their case. And it's like, are they going to do it? I'm hoping they do it. But are they going to do it? Because, like I've said earlier in another one of these reviews, I really liked She-Hulk until the last episode. And then the last episode totally lost me. Like, I really liked the show. And then they just went crazy rogue with the last episode. And now I'm just like, I mean, I expect She-Hulk's going to show up in some Marvel stuff going forward, but I don't really care about another season. And I just hope that's not what happens with Andor. But I just feel like this is different, right? Like, I feel like these guys have given us everything we've wanted so far. Like, She-Hulk was different. Like, the expectations were way lower because it's a comedy. That's how I looked at it. This show is so gritty and so, like, reality based that I'm more confident that they're gonna stick the landing, right? I'm hopeful, fingers crossed. What do you think? What do you think about this episode of Andor? What do you think about this review of Andor? Are you super stoked, super bummed, or super anxious about the last episode? Let me know in the comments. But that's all I got for now. See you at the next one. Later.